I thought those were funny as hell. I was like, haha, poopy doopy.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow Daniel at DStarSick on Twitter. Follow Ryan at Darth Damio on the Bluebird app. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to a special bonus episode of The Horror of Babylon, where we are reviewing All That You Love Will Be Carried Away by Stephen King. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Tell the people why we're here.
We got a review code for A Dollar Baby, which is Stephen King's, what would you call that, like fan film project?
His Dollar Baby program is something that he does where you can buy the rights to make a short film on one of his stories, normally a short story, for $1 a year. Basically, you pay that $1 per year indefinitely until you make the film. Mm-hmm. The only other condition is that you send him a copy of it. And this one has been in production by Bolin Miller, and it's based on the short story All That You Love Will Be Carried Away, and we were giving a review copy of it.
Liked and retweeted some stuff on the who was it, the director's Twitter?
I think so.
It was someone on Twitter we interacted with, because we're excited about Dollar Babies. We want to do a Dollar Baby.
Yes.
Horror of Babylon presents Stephen King's whatever. I don't even think it matters at this point which one we do.
I would do anything except All That You Love Would Be Carried Away. Because I would not be appropriate with that.
I would have made some different choices, and it probably would have been way more explicit.
So we're actually going to review the short story itself, and then the short film, all in one episode, but still probably not going to be a super long one.
As always, heavy spoilers for the 10-page, 10-minute movie.
The story was published 21 years ago.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Just a smidge of background. All That You Love Will Be Carried Away was originally published in January of 2001 in The New Yorker and has been reprinted in Stephen King's short story collection, Everything's Eventual. I had never read this until today when I did it right before we started recording. And you had a story?
You sent it to me. The title didn't ring a bell. And I start reading it, and I go, hey, wait a minute. He's, collecting graffiti. Isn't he going to try to shoot himself? Yeah, he's going to try to shoot himself. Doesn't he think about hiding that painting behind the...
hiding the notebook behind the painting?
Yeah, behind the painting. And I just kept doing that, and I'm like, I have read this. In fact, I read this at work last year. I guess I have... And then I looked at my bookshelf, and I'm like, I have a copy of Everything's Eventual.
So we're not going to go super deep on this, but if I had to describe this short story in one word, to me it would be forgettable, which I don't think you can argue with because you forgot you read it.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It is very forgettable. I do relate to a lot of parts of the story. I've been in a similar spot where, the entire world just feels like it's this super mundane, progressively getting worse thing, and all you really want to do is do this one thing, and you never take the risk to actually do it. So I relate to that part of the story.
Most people can relate to that without, going the full route to the suicide path of it. Mm-hmm. I can just say, as a reader, I did not enjoy reading it. There was very little or little to nothing about it that I found memorable or worth.
I would have liked more graffiti.
The only reaction I had was like halfway through the story where he gives that like classic Stephen King stinger where he says something really important in a very nonchalant way. Like, spoiler alert for Pet Sematary, there's this really touching scene where the dad and the little boy go out and play with a kite in a field, and that section ends by saying, and this was the last time that Lewis and Gage would ever play, or something, because he gets hit by a car. And I don't remember the exact line, but it's something to the effect of maybe I'll just go back in the room and shoot myself like I planned.
Yeah.
And that's when you find out that he had planned on killing himself. Up to that point in the story, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't understand what's going on. There's got to be like a vampire jumping out of a closet at some point soon.
You keep waiting for the supernatural thing to happen.
Yeah, and there's nothing supernatural about it, which is fine. I'm not complaining. Stephen King's short stories varied in terms of style and genre and quality. And this one, not a favorite of mine, but I wouldn't particularly argue with somebody if they liked it.
I'd give it a C-.
Yeah, something. I probably go D+, but something like that.
Yeah,
in that range.
Oh my God! Are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
What's your King and your Koontz for this short story?
That it kind of ends on a stinger, and you don't really get a clear-cut answer as to what happened.
Yes, that's also my King, and it's also my Koontz. I appreciate that it was a choice where it left the end up to your imagination. It's my Koontz because I didn't care. I don't care if he shot himself or not. I didn't care about the character, so whatever.
My Koontz is I wanted like more limericks, more rhymes. I thought those were funny as hell. I was like, haha, poopy doopy.
Yeah, I wasn't not amused. Okay, and I'm gonna do something we don't get to do too often here on the Horror Babylon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up our short story rankings.
I forgot we had a short story rankings.
Yeah. I was thinking, should we just fold them in with the books? I don't know.
God, most of them are going to end up pretty low.
So right now, we have so few, I can just go over them all. Ours are exactly the same, except our 1 and our 2s are flipped. So my 1 and 2 are The Mark of the Beast and Call of Cthulhu, and yours are The Call of Cthulhu and Mark of the Beast. And then Phantom Rickshaw is our number 3, and Night Surf is our number 4.
In terms of short stories, I'm putting it last.
Yeah, I'm also putting it last. I wasn't a fan of Night Surf either, but at least Night Surf had like people getting set on fire. I don't know.
Yeah, it
built the world of The Stand a little bit more.
It also had some characters interacting, which I think is one of Stephen King's strong suits.
Yeah, I had a hard time believing that this guy was just going through all this by himself, just having like this very intense, deep inner monologue.
He doesn't draw me in with a lot of his internal monologues. He draws me in with the way he gets characters to play off of each other. I'm trying to think of somebody that I know that I like who does like big old monologues, but usually monologues that I can think of are playing off of other characters going on in the stories. So for the Dollar Baby.
So this was written and directed by Bolin Miller, and it was starring John Ennis, and I'm just gonna...
John Ennis.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to IMDb real quick. All the posters are like, starring John Ennis. I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Well, I'm sure it's probably like a local dude, or like a... Yeah.
He was in 8-Legged Freaks.
There's no fucking way.
He was in
Zodiac?
Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Cellular...
Is this the same dude? I mean, maybe.
I mean, it
could be.
It kind of looks like him.
I think that's him.
Yeah, it's right here. All That You Love Will Be Carried Away. I've seen a couple things that he's in, but I don't remember him at all.
I will say that
apparently he's in Star Wars Resistance.
This dude, because
American Dad.
In this movie, they had him like playing two roles. Like he was playing himself as the salesman and I guess the guy he wanted to be, like his internal monologue.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just like with a story like this where like 90% of the shit's going on through somebody's head.
Yeah, it was just like a device, so it wasn't so...
So because you can either like cryptically just like play it straight, and then there's almost no dialogue, and you have to infer everything going on.
Also in Twin Peaks.
Jesus. Or
something called Stupid Bitch.
I guess you could have done like an internal monologue. So this was I don't know if I'd say it was the wrong artistic choice. It's just a artistic choice that I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that wasn't as off-putting to me as the choice to take away the open-ended ending.
Yeah. I will say that when he was playing like his salesman self, he looked like a dude who straight wanted to pull a Sayori. Like he looked like he was not having a good time.
No.
He was not hanging in there. And his other self, the writer that he wanted to be, he looked like he was having a great time.
Okay, so Bolin Miller also produced a Dollar Baby for Gray Matter, which is a Stephen King short story that I like quite a bit.
Okay, well maybe we'll do that one sometime.
Yeah, and that one has a real adaptation too. The Creepshow TV series premiered with an anthology adaptation of Gray Matter.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah. Other than that, like he only has a couple credits here and there, so it looked like somebody who's up and coming.
What did you think of the cinematography and the editing?
I've watched a lot of Dollar Babies.
Yeah.
And production-wise, this was definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah. I think the only other one I've seen was Night Surf. And it's like night and day.
Well,
I thought the cinematography was good. I'm not sure what I would have liked to have seen more of.
The only thing production-wise that I didn't really understand was when they were standing outside and his, like, other self was, like, blurred like a hentai penis.
Yeah, because they only did that, like, that time.
Yeah, it wasn't the entire time. If you saw him clearly in the hotel room.
If they would have done that and in his cab.
Yeah.
Or his car.
His car.
If they would have done that the whole time, I would have been like, okay, that's, like, it's blurring, who that is.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read the short story, that's kind of interesting. You don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, here you can just see it's the same actor, except they blur him right there. I'd be interested if the director had, like, a reason they did that. I wanted it to represent blurring the lines right there, or something like that. Because I am always interested in, like, directors and writers when they make certain choices, and, like, the reasons they made them. The short story takes place in winter, and, of course, you can't always have that. That's just a minor difference.
Well, here's an interview with the director that's longer than the movie.
Maybe we can get one sometime.
Here's another Dollar Baby that somebody made of this that's 42 minutes long.
I prefer this. I think you could have stretched this out to maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about what I would have done because I've not actually attempted to make an actual movie since I was like 9 years old playing with a camcorder, making my Godzilla toys smash into each other and throwing my cats at them. It's Catzilla.
Apparently it's not that exclusive, so I just Googled it, and here's a link to the movie with the password in it. So. It's not that.
I feel less special. Hey, Bolin, do you wander around and, like, look at graffiti, too? Is that why you chose this?
Maybe.
When I read this, like I said, I felt a certain, like, connection to some of the stuff going on, even though the story itself is kind of forgettable. So I could see myself trying to do this one. Though I'm sure there's, like, a million other ones that would probably be better suited to Ryan and I's talent. I will say, like, my biggest problem with this particular adaptation is they changed the ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest strength of that short story. And I understand. I guess you could still say it was ambiguous because, I mean, like, he was in different clothes and walked away with a notebook.
I took that as he became the self he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Which is why he looked different.
Yeah, I
don't like it either.
I much would have rather him just cut to black at, like, 19, or as he starts to say 20. And maybe you see a flicker of light, but you're not quite sure you saw it. Like, for, like, to 1/10 of a millisecond.
What about going the other way and just actually having him shoot himself?
I don't like that either. I really like the idea that this dude is picking a super arbitrary reason to not kill himself, and you don't know if that arbitrary reason, like, plays out.
This film got $10,800 for post-production.
I bet you the majority of that went to hiring this actor.
Yeah.
Mostly just because, again, he did a pretty decent job with what he had. It's not a lot, but he did a decent job. And like I said, he looked like he wanted to just Monica himself all over the screen. So
okay, so
he looked miserable. He looked so sad.
He did. He really did. All right, so my king for this short film is... my king was going to be that they included us with a review copy, but you can get that just by Googling it. So. I don't know now. What's your king?
The actor. I think that he did I mean, again, it's a very short film and it's a very short story, but I do think that with what he had, he did an admirable job.
All right, he's my king too.
He looked the part. The fact that he was playing dual roles, even though that's not really a thing in the story, kind of grew on me. Mm-hmm. Mostly because it just kind of showed the two different outcomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did a good job of like differentiating both of those, but still kind of showing you he's the same dude.
I agree. Okay, that's mine as well. And then I guess our Koontz is that they changed the end to make it to make it not ambiguous.
Yeah, you know, it's just I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, like what the thought process was, because maybe he can win me over to that side.
Yeah,
I don't think that'll be the case, but
are we going to rank Dollar Babies a non-professional?
I kind of want to.
All right,
at least if we've had like actual interaction, we can take it off the list if it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But
all right, I'll do it. I'm going to put it second from the bottom. I'm putting it. Roar was more entertaining, but I'm going to put it above Roar on principle.
Okay,
because no one was mauled by a lion in the production. I'm assuming no one was mauled by a lion in the production of this.
I mean, that gun looked awfully real.
Yeah,
but.
Oh, by the way, like, he's just standing out there outside the hotel just holding that gun. Like, he's not worried that somebody's going to see him and call the cops, but he's worried about somebody reading his notebook.
I love that, too, because, you know I do a daily journal entry. Mm-hmm. And there are times when I can't find my journal and I'm like, where the fuck did I drop that thing? Somebody's going to find it and think I'm cuckoo bananas.
You are cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, but I don't want a stranger to know. Only my friends should know that.
Where are you ranking this sucker?
Where's my list at? No, same as you. Phantoms I don't really like, but I do think that, you know, I'd want to see them try to redo Phantoms, especially with Ben Affleck again. I don't think this was bad. It's just there's not a lot to go on, so maybe we won't do more of these, or maybe we'll take these off the list eventually. But for now, this is like... It's hard to compare this to other, like...
professional films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even the cheapest thing on this list probably has thousands of more dollars. Like, what's the second cheapest thing on this list? Like, one of these animes? And that would
probably one of the older Mermaid Saga adaptations.
And I bet you that thing's budget still dwarfed this by magnitudes.
Gotta imagine.
So... maybe that's not fair, but for now, it's a fun night.
Hellraiser was just like $1 million, right? Something like that. I've got it in our notes.
Oh, okay, you already got that.
Yeah, because it's in the episode outline for Hellraiser. Oh my god, we've done a lot of episodes. Budget $1 million. So, I mean, obviously, that's $1 million, but it's pretty low for a movie.
Yeah, and I believe I even said it all went to the Cenobites.
Yeah, it all went to the Cenobites.
I mean, I love those Cenobite designs.
Yeah. Look at all these old outlines.
I think we should clip where we ranked the Cenobites into a mini episode.
Sure.
I think that would make a good mini.
Sure. I'll do that. Why not? Okay, so yeah, that's a bonus episode upcoming on the Horror of Babylon this Sunday. So this is going to drop on a Thursday, and this coming Sunday we'll be releasing an episode on the novella The Bone Farm by Dean Koontz. We're both big fans. We had a lot of fun recording that one.
Yeah.
And then the following Sunday, last Sunday in November, we are reviewing the new Hellraiser adaptation. First Sunday in December, we are reviewing the novel Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter by Seth Grahame-Smith. And the next Sunday, we will be reviewing the film Horns, based on a novel by Joe Hill, son of Stephen King. Something we never done before, doing the movie without the book, but hey, it's an experiment. We'll see how it goes.
I think Dean Koontz should do a Dollar Baby so you and I can do the Bone Farm.
Oh, that would be so sweet.
I'm gonna cast you as Mercer.
Oh.
I want to get a green screen and what Freaky Friday? Not Freaky Friday. What's the one with the twins switch places?
The Olsen twins one? Or no, you mean the old one, the Parent Trap.
Parent Trap, yeah. We'll film it like the Parent Trap.
The Parent Trap, yeah. Yeah, that's an episode. Thanks for reading and watching. All that you love will be carried away.
I had a good time dicking around during this.
All right, thanks everybody. Stay scary.
Stay scary.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow Daniel at dstarsick on Twitter. Follow Ryan at Darth Damio on the Bluebird app. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.